Hey guys, it's Munsterman here. Today, we're going to be talking about goals and strategizing the build. Whenever I talk about goals, it's hard for me to articulate to you, okay, what are goals and what are goals, like how to set goals effectively. So I would say that just like goals 101 is establish goals. Like so many people have these ideas in their head, and the difference I guess between an idea and a goal is this. An idea is, hey, I've got this thing rolling around in my head and someday I'd like to do that thing, or someday I'd like to accomplish this, or someday I would like to, if your goal starts with someday, it's not a goal, it's an idea. And so what we look at whenever we're talking about our goals, this is something that's tangible, like 3 rules to goals. One, it's tangible and trackable. So it is, hey, I'm here today and here's where I want to end up. Like that's step 1. Step 2, it's finite. So you have to put an end time on any goal that you're going to set or write. And by end time, like, okay, so you don't want to say 5 years from now, this is my goal. You can, but from that 5 year, you drop to 4, 2, then you fall back to 1, and then you break it into quarterly goals, and then a monthly goal inside of each quarter. So what my suggestion is, especially if you're not truly writing out your goals, let's start with something that's palpable. Let's set a 30-day, 45-day, or 60 if you're like really determined that you're going to accomplish something. Let's start there and start just simply by rule number 3, writing it down. So let's just recap here because this is super critical. It's an idea unless you have a finite finish line, you set a definitive timeline for that goal, and you commit it to paper. Well, Mike, I use my phone, I speak into it, it's not the same. Well, I type everything I do is in Word, not the same. Write it down. There's something that happens, a correlation between your mind and the actions you take and the steps that you move forward ahead, like as you're progressing towards the finish line of your goals, you will, when you write it down, you embed it into your mind. It's just 100% different to write your goals down. So I have journal upon journal upon journal of goals. And what's interesting is when I first started writing my goal, I just did it because every single self-help book, every single, hey, how to make money, every single how to manage yourself, like Harvard Business Review has like top 10 hacks to becoming a successful entrepreneur. Number 1, chapter 1, goals. Any book that you're going to read that has anything to do with success, they talk about goals. Now, why is that? Because it works. It sounds very like head in the clouds, and I'm spending a little extra time here just driving this in, because if you don't get away from ideas in your head to goals committed to paper, you'll stay right where you are. Or even if you advance, you'll advance, but you won't nearly advance as quick as somebody that commits their ideas to paper. And it's fun for me because early when I started writing my goals, like I would forget what I even wrote. Like I wouldn't go back and review that every month like you're supposed to. Like that's kind of like next level. We'll talk about more like better steps to take to effectively pursue and commit to your goals. But like just for step 1, like I would just write them down, close the book and put it on a shelf and forget all about it. Then 6, 8, 10, 12 months later, I come back and I read those and I'm like, holy crap, check mark, line through that. Oh, I accomplished that. And with no other reason than I wrote it down. So get away from filling your head with a bunch of ideas and commit to writing your goals down. The reward you'll get from writing your goals and committing them to paper is infinite. You don't have to pay for a single course. You don't have to pay for you don't need to go to any of the big gurus and their 20,000 seat stadiums and listen to them hype you up if you won't commit to this one step. Because everything you do without committing to a goal and setting a definitive finish line is just a wasted idea in your head. So, write your goals. Now, I have tons of more information. Like I could go on about goals for a long time. But I had a friend just this week say to me, okay, like I've watched you jump into industries knowing nothing about the industry. You architect some sort of a business and then you exit the company. Like we've sold several companies, we've sold large portions of several companies, we've closed a couple companies. Currently we're scaling a dealership. In the last 18 months, we went from like 20 cars to 120 cars. We're currently building out a full service center, like a 6-bay service center with but 18 months ago, I wasn't even in the car business. I had no idea what I was doing. I sat at a table in Laguna talking with a guy, and he was talking about the car business and how, just frankly, how easy he thought that it was, and how making money, super scalable. It was a good business because you could add true value to people's lives. And I thought, I can do that. So I called another buddy of mine that I knew was in the business. I picked his brain for about a half hour, and it gave me enough nuggets to be able to start to write. And I set a course out to write my goals. My friend asked me though, his question was not, hey, do you write your goals? His question was, once you decide the industry you're going to get in, how do you architect the company that you're going to build? And this is meat and potatoes of business 101. Like if you're going to build companies, you have to start with this key core principle. And here's what it is. So you have an idea. And in this idea, you think this has legs. You probably seek wise counsel. You probably run around to your small peer group. You talk to them about the different layers of ideas. You watch for their feedback. I have a total this dovetails into so many subjects because we can talk about who to listen to, who not to listen to. But just for now, you run around, you share your idea, and if you're extremely lucky, you find enough people that encourage you to take that leap, that step of faith, and you decide, okay, I want to start a company. My buddy's started several companies, so his question came more from an area of he's been in the same industry for a really, really long time. He's got a crazy successful company out on the East Coast, and it's a generational business. It's not just a one and done. And so his to me was, how can you go from industry to industry without knowing anything about the industries? For me, somewhere through the idea phase, I go into what I would consider an educational phase as well. The reason is because I want to make sure that I'm somewhat versed in the industry. I don't need to be an expert, right? You can go into total, you can go into total, but I think that the term is analysis paralysis, and where I'm going to consume tons and tons of content and energy, and I'm never going to get off my stump. So you definitely want to educate yourself a little bit. Drip test the idea, share it with some people around you, and then, I've already spent enough time on this, commit that idea to paper. So here's what's really cool about your mind. When you're thinking about, okay, I'm gonna write a goal, I'm gonna set my goals, I'm going to start a company. Let's just call it what it is. I'm gonna start a company. I'm gonna start a hot side hustle, whatever that is for you. The rule of thumb is if you can visualize the business with your mind, you can create it with your body. So I'm going to say that again. If you can visualize an idea in your mind, and I mean fully visualize the layout, the product or service, the team, the needs of the team, who's going to do what, and you have the ability to visualize it, your mind won't let you picture something that you can't build. And this is why one of the hacks, you'll see a lot of get rich quick and self-help gurus, these guys that really don't know what they're talking about, but they latch onto some principles. One of the ones that I hear that gets regurgitated a lot is visualization techniques. I want you to visualize, because what you do is you stretch your mind's ability to see, and what your mind can see, you can create. So just the reason that we go through this process, idea, educate to goals, is because by this point you should start to be developing a pretty clear vision of what that is going to look like. So for me, and I'm going to use the car business as an example here. So whenever you are creating this visualization, you've got this written down. Now again, 3 elements to goals. The key one here is timeline. You want to be aggressive because you want to be able to really collapse time and scale quickly, but you have to be realistic. So in your heart of hearts, okay, what's realistic? Because a lot of people have an idea, but they have no money. They haven't strategized. So for you, let's just talk about the architecture of, okay, what's next? You say, Michael, look, I have a job. And in my job, I don't have time, like I have bills, I have these things, like like money's my biggest holdup. Okay, cool. So then the thing you have to keep in mind is, like, right, your brain is so smart. It's been with you from the very beginning. And so what you can visualize and what you agree internally, okay, I can make this happen, your brain's not gonna let you stretch beyond your capabilities. What typically sinks somebody's ability to scale, grow, and start a company isn't their money. At the end of the day, it's not about how much money you have, it's how much effort you're willing to put out. Because the fact is, if you have an oven and a couple of grandma's recipes, like, you can make money. Like, you can, like Gary Vee talks about, like, running around to yard sales and buying stuff super cheap and throwing it on eBay. Like, there's a million and one ways to make money. I know a girl from my hometown right now. She's going out and digging up old glass bottles. She found like this honey hole of glass bottles, and she's cleaning it all out, and like she's throwing them on Swap and Shop. And I'm thinking, who wants to buy like an old, like dilapidated Pepsi bottle? Lots of people, evidently. She's killing it. But that's her side hustle right now. Why is she doing it? I have no idea. But if she would come to me and say, hey, I'm saving up because I had an idea, I wrote down my goal, and I recognize that I need this much money. So, like, let's just start super, super basic. I need $3,000 to buy the camera equipment that I need to start my photography business. Like, in my area, we're underserviced. We don't have enough photographers. We're out in the sticks, and like, iPhones are great and all, but like, I really feel like there's a need for solid photography. If you don't have somebody, and most of us don't, if you don't have somebody you can reach out to and say, hey, I need to borrow $3,000. Promise I'm gonna pay you back. Or, hey, I need $3,000. I'll make you a partner. Or whatever your approach might be. Like, then you've got to figure out, okay, I have to architect the money. And so every single goal that you commit to paper becomes I need to architect out the idea. And you can break that down in so many different ways. So in my business, I need this, and I need this, and I need this. Okay, cool, but this is the first thing I need, so you architect the build. Right now, I need $3,000 because I gotta come up with a camera. So now I need a definitive timeline. What am I willing to do to get $3,000? Well, first of all, what am I willing to give up to gain $3,000? I go out to eat once a week. On average, that going out to eat costs me $60. There are 4.3 weeks in a month. So real quick, we're talking like $265 a month. I don't get to go out to eat for the next few months. Cool. So I'm gonna set, like, just based off of this alone, I set a 4-month goal, and now I've got $1,060, and so we're $1,060. Now I need $1,940. Like, I'm not quite halfway to my goal, but just by giving up one little thing, I'm there. I love this one. This is gonna hurt some people. How much is your cable bill? So your cable bill, right? It's $1,400 or $140 a month, probably somewhere around there, 100, 140. Let's just call it, just for easy math on my side, let's just call it $150 a month. So over my 4-month like eat crap period, like I'm going for something. Like, I have a bigger dream, I have an idea, I have a goal. What am I willing to do to get there? Because effort will stop you. Yesterday I dropped a little video about stories. Stories will stop you. Well, I can't like take TV away. That's not fair to the kids. It's not fair to the kids, but you spend 2 or 3 hours a night in front of it too. So, like, time to delete. By the way, Netflix is cheap. Like, Netflix is $10. So you net $140, you don't quite get $600 over the period. Maybe you only get $550. But for this, let's talk about you get your $1,600 there. You're $1,340 away from your goal. You're you didn't do you put out no effort. All you had to do was transition and exchange sacrifice for scale. And then you've got a little bit of discipline, right? Like, so you're making these decisions, but now you've got to discipline out. This is the architecture. So the architecture, like, just in its simplest form here, $3,000, no eating out. Like, this leg will be sacrifices, right? So no eating out, delete TV or Netflix, I don't like those shows. Cool. Hulu. Well, I don't like those shows. ABC. Like the list goes on. You just want HBO? Hey, it's $15 a month. Get it. It's way cheaper than paying for the full package, and you can only watch one station at a time anyway. So, sorry, I'm tangenting. We were cord cutters, and I could have, like, if I wanted any cable channel I want, right? But we just run with Netflix and Hulu, and we're plenty entertained. So we kill those sacrifices here. So these are a couple of, and I think you could almost sacrifice your way to a $3,000 win, but most people won't. So let's just stop with that right there. We're still $1,340 away. Michael, I have a 40-hour-a-week job. We started with that, right? I've got this job, 40 hours a week. Quick question, can you get overtime? You can live off of your current output. You're doing it right now. So all you have to do is look for an opportunity to increase your output. This is temporary. This isn't a new life adjustment. This is just a step in the right direction to get you where you need to be. Ultimately, we're just tackling goals. Goals, that's all we care about. We just want to see that our output matches our expectation. And so let's say you get 10 hours of overtime, and let's be really fair here. So you grab 10 hours of overtime, you make $10 an hour. So you're going to get an extra, that's not a lot, right? It's $50 a week. Times 4.3 though. And so what's that, 250. Let's just, again, keep my math easy for me. So $250 a month. It costs you 40 hours. Or 43. It costs you 40 hours to gain an extra $250 a month. 160 hours of your life that you were probably just going to be watching TV anyway to exchange for $1,000. So you need some OT. And you need 160 hours over a 4-month period, right? Effort. Sacrifice. Are you willing? Or do you just want to sit around and complain because you can't be rich? So, finally, the easiest move, you're $340 short of your $3,000 goal. You're 2 weeks out to the end of your 4 months. This is where you set your timeline. You commit it to paper. I'm going to save $3,000 to buy my new photography equipment, and hopefully, if you're lucky, they won't come out with something newer and cooler in the meantime that costs more money. But yeah, settle back down, spend your $3,000, follow the goal. You're $340 away. If you have children, this is an easy litmus test. If I told you you're $340 away from saving any one of your children's lives, could you do it? There's no one that would say no to that. You can literally go donate blood for $40 a week. 100% you can, $250 a month. And they give bonuses and all sorts of this other stuff. I'm not saying go donate blood to fuel your goals, but this is easy, but you get what I'm saying. So if you want to go dig ditches and look for old bottles, or go walk the rivers of Missouri and find arrowheads and sell them online, or if you want to simply just go pick up trash and recycle, if you call local small car lots like mine and say, hey, can I come by and haul off your scrap? There's a million ways. If you enjoy baking, you can bake pies, you can sell cookies, you can do absolutely, there's a multitude of ways. If I said you have 4 months to come up with $340, let's break it down. That's $85 a month. Divided by our 4.3, let's just keep that simple. That's about $20 a week. You could go beg for $20 a week, go any major intersection and just sit out there with the cardboard, cardboard sign equal $20 a week, pretty easy. Don't do that. This is so complicated for just a little bit of money. I literally chatted with a guy less than 45 minutes ago. He said, the only reason I'm buying this car is because I'm unemployed right now, and my sister's loaning me a little bit of money. I'm going to chip in some that I have in savings, but the reason I am is because I want to Uber. Uber pays $250 a night if you work from 6 to 1 in the morning. Boom, you're done. Inside of 1 month, you can rack up $6,000 of additional income that you just rat hole. Are you willing to? Are you willing to go from your job at 5, change clothes, get ready, vacuum out your car from the night before, whatever, get in it and take off and be picking people up by 6 and calling it out at 12, 1, and 2 and getting up the next morning and doing it again. Like ultimately you have to you have to create an architecture for your path. And then you just follow. This is all committed to paper. This is all designed so that you can walk ahead steady at your goal. Now this is super, super, like I just completely tangented away from what we talked about, but I think this is crazy important. If you're not willing to sacrifice, put out the effort, and like hustle, then you don't deserve it. And that's hard for people to palate. Like everybody sees Instagram with the cars and the jewelry and the clothes and the lifestyle. What they never see is these guys like me, who drop 60, 70, 80 hours a week, and it doesn't feel like work because we're building something. Because we committed something to paper and our heart's passionate about our mission. We recognize that we're adding value to the marketplace because a long time ago, we had this one little thing. An idea. And that is worth it for us. So I'm going to shoot another video at another time because I've taken up enough here on this one, but like this is simple. It's not easy. We make it look easy because we love what we do. And anybody who tells you that this is easy and like anybody can do it, it's just not true either. Like if you're watching this and I'm the last video in your Facebook feed that you've been sitting here watching for the last, I don't know, 35 minutes, 45 minutes, like that's your sacrifice. Put that up because you can't do it from there. You gotta come do it like this. You gotta decide what you're gonna build and go do it. Guys, I just can't say this enough. I want to see you make the necessary moves to be as successful as you can, to take your God-given gift and give it to the world. Like it hasn't been about the money for me for a really long time. At this point, it's just about the passion. It's just about like making a ripple, an impact. And that's hopefully what I can do. Through dropping this stuff, like you might think, oh man, Munsterman just really loves to hear the sound of his own voice. I just really want to see everybody live the fullest version of your life. I want to see you make the moves necessary to reach whatever level of success you want. Savvy?